You see, it's my job to make my clients richer, whether it's 10,000 richer, a few tens of thousand richer, 100,000 richer, or even in 7 figures. So I want to share with you now, it's really not magic, but mathematics. I'm going to show you how my clients can effortlessly make more money just by making a small but the right decision. Now, this is a context when it comes to banks, private banking. Like the client has his own relationship manager at the bank who recommended a savings plan as one of the banking products. And since the client's intention is to create passive income or some sort of guaranteed annuity that will give him consistent income post-retirement, the banker was recommending to him this income plan. Client actually forwarded this to me and asked whether this makes sense to actually take up this retirement income plan. Here are the details. The plan needs the client to pay 100,000 a year for the next 3 years, and the plan will only start to give a guaranteed income payment 15 years from now, which is 16,500 a year guaranteed. It will be paid from year 15 until year 43. That means there's 28 years of yearly guaranteed payout. At the end of this plan, there are two scenarios. Scenario X, the worst case scenario where all the income has been paid out, there would be no balance left in the plan and the client actually receives nothing. Of course, he has received 28 years of 16,500 a year. That is guaranteed, right? But at the final year where the plan actually matures or ends, you have your scenario Y over here, the optimistic scenario. After receiving 16,500 for 28 years, the projected amount is 374,000 non-guaranteed balance that would be still left inside the plan, which the client can cash out. And again, just to stress, this is non-guaranteed. I want you to actually pay attention to what's highlighted here in yellow is that just before this retirement income plan starts to pay out, the projected balance inside based on whatever has been paid in the early years and compounded in the early years, the balance inside is estimated around 280,000 on the low end and about 419,000 on the high end. So the way I want to simplify this perspective or calculation for you or compare this kind of plan for you is, and I'm doing the same thing for my client, is that assuming that the client is going to pay out or the cash outflow from him is 100,000 a year for the first 3 years, and then whatever that is already paid or invested, it gets a return of say 5% a year. So after paying 100,000 for 3 years, the amount at the end of the third year should be slightly more than 315,000. And for the fourth year onwards, just assume client is not adding in or investing any additional money, just like they're not paying any additional money into the retirement income plan offered by the bank, and just let that 315,000 naturally compound at 5% a year for the next 12 years, reaching the 15th year. And if you do that, yourself, even without this kind of retirement income plan, you are expected to actually get 566,000 by year 15. But the thing is, if you look at what is shown over here earlier, at year 15, in the bank's retirement income plan, the projected amount under this plan comes with a worst case scenario of only 280,000 and the best case scenario is only 419,000. Are you following my thought process over here, and are you seeing what I'm seeing? Now, the second perspective that actually I want to find out, before I can give my client solid advice is, if this client has 566 or whatnot, more than 500,000 after 15 years, I'm curious to understand how much can be withdrawn every year from this balance before the entire amount becomes zero, assuming that the remaining amount after withdrawal each year will still actually get a return of 5% a year. And then the answer is, client actually can afford to withdraw 38,000 a year for 28 years from a balance of 566,000 before it becomes zero. So we do some reverse calculation, right? If a client has 566,000 after 15 years, and even though the withdrawal starts, whatever remains inside compounds or still gets a 5% per year kind of return, right? But if it has been withdrawn consistently from the 15th year until the 43rd year, which is a 28 years kind of timeline, the total withdrawn amount is easily slightly more than 1 million before the entire capital becomes zero. Versus the bank's retirement product, in the worst case scenario, at the end of the term of the plan, it has zero balance, and in the best case scenario, it would have said that projected you still have 374,000. On the best case scenario, the guaranteed retirement income, which is guaranteed, they only promise you 16,500 a year, withdrawn for 28 years. For this best case scenario, you have to add up the amount for the best case scenario at the end of the retirement income plan, which is 374,000, as shown in the projected amount for inside the table, right? And even on the retirement income plan, the total money, even for the best case scenario, the client will only be getting back about 836,000. So if you compare this 836,000 with the one that I have drawn in blue, there is still a huge gap, right? If the client were just to do his own retirement portfolio, just getting a 5% a year, which is again really not hard to obtain. And the reason for this gap about close to 200,000 is because there's a lot of this cost involved in some of these banking products or retirement saving plan, which makes the long-term returns of this plan is actually way lower versus if a client were just to structure his own retirement nest egg or portfolio, a pure investment portfolio, just getting a net return of 5% per year throughout the entire duration in consideration. In short, you have just observed our role as advisors. We educate, we advise, we coach our clients to plan their money, wealth, investment better by doing the thinking for them, and if needed, execute the plan for them. At the same time, solving problems, giving them perspective that they probably have never thought of or have overlooked. And which is why we are able to get this kind of testimonials or feedbacks from clients, kind of one part of the wealth management advisory that we are doing right here, so that we help our clients make better informed money decisions to reduce financial leakages, make their money work harder and more efficiently. Check out more of our client stories in the link below above this video or in the link in bio, and follow for more to see more case studies like this on your feed.